All right, good evening and welcome back to Slack Smack. My name is Sean Slack, and my partner Victor Mega will be joining us soon. He'll be broadcasting actually from his home today, as I'm actually under the weather a little bit, if you can believe it or not. So, you know how it goes. Don't worry, it's not COVID. I'm just got a little bit of a resfriado, is what they call it down here. A little bit of a cold, so it's best to kind of. He's got kids, I got kids, so it's best to kind of keep them there. So it's no problem. But before we get started, we got a great show tonight. Paulo Antunes is getting ready to join us pretty soon. Joe Burnett actually had some connection issues. We're going to be putting him in on again next week. So it's just going to be us and Paulo tonight, which is going to be great. But I was on Instagram this week, and I'm not sure if you guys saw this or not, but I saw this video, and man, it was really powerful. It was this black gentleman working. He was actually working inside of a funeral home. And I'm not sure if he caught it, but he was basically standing next to an open casket and, telling people not to, basically to wake the hell up, because he was telling, especially young people, to straighten their lives out because, eventually everybody's going to end up in this box. And I know this is not the best way to start a show or whatever, but man, it was really powerful, the message, because the guy was like, how stupid can you be? Your mom's going to end up coming here scraping dollars just to put you in one of these things. And you're out there acting like a bunch of jackasses. It's crazy. And it just really kind of hit home. Last night on the news here in Sao Paulo, they were showing kids throwing actual Molotov cocktails, man. They were lighting bottles and throwing them. And there's some city called Crocolandia or Crack City or whatever the place may be, is somewhere here in Brazil. And they were zooming in and out, and people were actually doing crack right in the middle of the damn road, man. And it was just like, and look, before you start getting into the stereotypes about Brazil, this could happen anywhere, man. This could be New York, this could be Chicago, whatever. It just happened to be there. And it's like, what the hell are people doing, man? What is going on with the world today? This show is an outlet. It's an escape for people, but people just need to chill the hell out, before you realize you're going to be ended up in the same box, man. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your sexual preference, your skin color. It doesn't matter, man. We're all going to end up in the same box. Eventually, you're going to turn into a bag of white bones, and then you're just dust. So it's like, why are you spending all this time hating on each other and fighting over the dumbest stuff, man? It just, I don't know. Like I said, you all know I don't like to jump into politics and stuff on this show because, again, this is an escape for that. But you should check out that video. I'll find a link to it later on. It really kind of hit home for some reason. I thought I'd just bring that up because it really kind of puts things in perspective and says, hey, look, end the madness, man. That's what sports are for. It's an escape. Everybody's talking about the Black Lives Matter, and then they're going to protest the national anthem. Da da da. Look, do what you want to do, but the bottom line is we go to sports to get out of the politics and to get out of the problems that we have for 2 or 3 hours in a day. And I think sports is, if anything, it can teach you. If you've ever been in a locker room, like I have for many, many years, like I know Paulo has, it's coming on soon. Like a lot of people who play sports here, inside of a locker room, there is no politics. There is no skin color. There is no sexual preference. There is no religion. It's just a bunch of guys working together to go out and beat somebody else's ass in terms of football. And you're all working together in the same goal. It's too bad the world couldn't be just one big, gigantic locker room because that's what we need right now. It's just, it blows my mind to see everything. Every time you turn on the news, I don't even like watching the news. I don't even care if it's in Portuguese, which I speak, and that's fine. But every time you turn on the news now, it's just bad news. And it's just, my God, it's so depressing. And thank God training camps are opening this week. Football is going to be around the corner. Major League Baseball just kicked back off. The NBA kicked off again last night. So hopefully things will start kind of corralling back to order. I get it. You guys are tired of the COVID-19. Everybody is. Everybody's sick and tired of it. But you got to keep your head. And just, again, remember, we're all in this together at the end of the day. Don't end up in that stupid box. So anyway, let's get on from that. Okay, so our first guest was born right here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, he then moved on to Florida, where he played a variety of sports in high school and then in college in Boston. He actually is an ex-soap opera star, which I'm going to give him some crap about that. And the current broadcaster for ESPN Brazil, covering a variety of sports, including the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, and college football. So let's learn a little bit more about Paulo Antunes.
LeBron, you've been a clutch player basically your whole career. How do you feel you've evolved in the last few years in clutch situations? Because it seems like, especially the last few years, when the going gets tough, I mean, you're always hitting.
What's your name?
Paulo from ESPN Brazil.
Appreciate you. Saying I've been clutch my whole career. It's not many like you, I tell you.
Well,
there's not many like you. Either you're being very kind because it's National Wine Day to me, or, I love Brazil, or I don't know what it is right now, but.
The last few years, I mean, yeah, especially.
There we go. No, just, I guess just being, first of all, my teammates and my coaching staff have, given me the reins to take the shot or make the play late in games. And, when you have that ability and when you have that confidence from your 14 teammates and then your coaching staff, and then you put the work into it, I think it's just it's a matter of just trying to come through. And like I said, I haven't always done it in my whole career, but I've never been shy away from it. And that's not even, either making a shot or making a play. I've taught the game the right way ever since I ever started playing the game of basketball. My first year ever playing Little League basketball, we won a championship, and my coach at the banquet gave everybody an MVP trophy, everybody. And that right then, I knew that this is a team game, and it's not about one individual and how much one individual can do. In order to win championships, and in order to win, you have to have a full team, and that's what it brought it down to me. And the second year, we won it again, and we all got MVP trophies again. So that's just been instilled in me since I was 9 years old when I first started playing, of what it means to be in a situation where your teammates rely on you, but just making the right play, no matter if it's a shot or it's a pass. I've always just been taught that.
Do you feel like you embrace the situation more today than maybe you did in the past?
I mean, I've embraced a lot of situations as you grow up. I think that's just all part of, experience and things of that nature. I mean, I love being a husband now. Did I embrace that at 18, 19? I don't think so. I've never been around married couples. So, as you get older, you grow into more things. I didn't love wine until I was 30 years old, and now every other post is about wine, National Wine Day. So you learn and you grow and you know what's best for you as you get older. That's just all of us. I think that's what being a human being is. You find ways that you feel like you can grow in what you like and what you dislike. At 18, I don't think I'm the same player that I am today at 33, and I shouldn't be. And I don't think, me personally, I should be the same person I was at 18. I'm just much more seasoned.
All right, Paulo, man, it's finally good to get you in here. How you doing, man?
Sean, thank you so much for having me. Victor, great to see you too, man. Happy to be on your show. I was a little worried about that intro, man. I almost went to the kitchen to go get my mask. I thought maybe I should do the show with the mask on, but what you said is absolutely spot on, man. People need to realize the situation that we're in and really respect the situation, right? Because, I've been in my house for the last 4 months. Yeah. I go out, I go to the store here close by to get some food. I come right back in the house, right? The one time that I went out with my girl driving around the city was packed, right? Everybody's on the street. Nobody's respecting the quarantine. And it's like, if 50% of the city is at home and 50% is not respecting, I mean, there's no way that we're going to be able to get over this thing, right? So what you said is absolutely true.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I think that, regardless if you believe in it or not, you have to, like you said, respect it for other people because, obviously I have a 2-year-old son. I know Victor's got young kids. It's not necessarily for you, but for other people. So it really is incredible. My God. But, hey, Paulo, you have an amazing story. We'll get to as much of it as possible, but let's kind of start with your personal history. You were born in Sao Paulo, and then you grew up in Florida. When did your affinity for sports really kick in, and what was your favorite? Because you played several.
Well, I mean, like every Brazilian, I guess we start off with soccer, right? So I think I became like a big time sports nut starting probably in 1983. I'm very old and decrepit, John. So I'm from 1978, as you can see with the mustache. I'm going back to my roots there in the 70s with the stash, sporting the stash, which I absolutely really enjoy. But yeah, so moving to the U.S., we moved in 1980, late 1984. My first sport was soccer, and then basketball, and I played tennis, and I played football, and I played baseball. I played all the sports. But the sport that I most like to play to this day is basketball. That is my deal, man. I love
Really?
that. I love watching basketball. That's my favorite sport to watch. But the sport that I play the most, basketball. So that's number one.
Wow. Yeah, so not many people outside of Brazil are going to know this, but before you really got going in your broadcasting career, you were an actor in some soap operas or novellas. That's what they call them here. Now, for people that don't know, man, novellas here are a big damn deal.
Yes.
Now, the first time I came to Brazil, man, I would go out to a bar and it'd be 10 o'clock at night, and guys are drinking beers, staring at the TV. I'm like, okay, there's a soccer game on. No, they're watching a freaking novella. So, for you, especially because you were a younger guy then, what was that experience like? Because, I mean, you were a big deal, man.
Well, the thing with the novellas, I wish I would have been a huge deal at Global, but I must say that I did one capítulo. What's a capítulo?
Like a chapter.
Well, it would be a chapter. The soap operas have chapters.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah, I did one chapter where I said one thing. Passa tudo que vocês têm aí, ovelharada.
You remember it.
Yes, give me the money. I was a thief, okay? And I was all covered
Show
up
me the money.
Yeah, with this black cloth. You couldn't even recognize me. I told everybody it was me because I put my chain out. Like, it's my chain. That's me. I couldn't believe it when the director was like, no, you're gonna have to over your face. I'm like, nobody's gonna recognize me. This is terrible. So that was my only experience at Globo. And then on SBT, I did novela Cristal, where I was a doctor. Now I did four. I don't think it's chapter. We really say chapter. Okay, so I did 4.
Right.
And I was an oncologist. Okay. So very important. Yes, very important diagnosis there. So I think it was very real because my dad's a doctor. So I showed him the thing. I'm like, okay, I'm a young doctor. Am I doing a good job? And he's like, yes. So he's watching it. And all of a sudden he's like, okay, now you got to be firm. And I was firm right when I had to be firm. And he's like, yes, you got it. Very, very good. So I was very, very happy with my short acting career. But I thought that I'd probably stick to sports where I think I do better work. But I'm telling you, man, after so many years as a communicator at ESPN, I really believe that if Global gave me another chance today, I think I'd be a pretty good actor. I think I just need a chance.
Well, I know for one thing, you'd be rocking it with that mustache, man.
Oh, yeah.
We got to talk a little bit about your, we call that a porn stash in the United States. So, and
Boogie nights.
Exactly. So, hey, look, so you got to take your middle name and the street that you grew up on, man. That would be your porn star name. So what's your porn star name going to be?
Augusto Mansur Bentree. That is. That's a pretty damn good name.
That is,
Bungsud Bent Tree.
that
I
is
mean,
that is epic. I mean,
I got to
that,
register that.
we need to shut down the show now. That's the greatest thing I've heard since I've been doing this show. So
Yes.
you heard it here first on Slack Smack. Paulo Antunes is going to be known as Bent Tree, man. So he must be packing some heat, man. That is so... Oh my God! Like I said, I'm done. My show's done today. That's the best thing I've heard. Oh my God! So hey, since you sorry, I got to catch my breath. That's so funny. Since you played and have a lot of experience in various sports, it appears ESPN is kind of taking advantage of that because of your knowledge. You're involved in so many different segments and departments within ESPN, including not just the NFL, but a lot of different sports. So how challenging is it for you to keep up with the constant flow of info that comes in daily? I mean, there's so much news and so much different things that are happening. How do you stay up with it all?
I mean, listen, I'm on ESPN.com. I'm on Fox.com. I mean, I'm on the sports site, NFL.com, MLB.com, NBA.com. But, we really channel everything that we want to do in a show, right?
Sure.
So, we'll have a meeting, like a pregame, if you will, right? Well, we'll just talk about everything that we're going to talk about during the show, and then we get ready for that. So a lot of people think man, you got to keep up with everything that's happening. And we do keep up with everything, but it's really impossible to have in-depth knowledge of everything that goes on. So we do prepare a lot for our shows.
Sure. Now broadcasting and doing commentary on live sporting events is not easy as well. How much preparation do you need to put in? Let's say you're doing Sunday Night Football or even Monday Night Football in a primetime game. Can you kind of walk us through that? I mean, are you studying rosters? How does that all break down?
Well, I mean, I've been at ESPN since 2006. So I've been commentating Thursday, Sunday, Monday Night Football since basically forever. So, and thank God I have a pretty good memory. So if I'm talking about the Chiefs, I mean, I know how the Chiefs play. Right? I mean, if I'm talking about the Dolphins, I watch the Dolphins every week. I know their personnel. I know what they do. And that's basically for the vast majority of the teams in the NFL. If there's something that I need to brush up on, then, NFLmedia.com is something that I use. Again, ESPN.com. What else? We have a lot of good stuff coming from ESPN directly to the broadcasters that ESPN's production team in Bristol sends out, which is very, very useful information for us. And also, I sign Game Pass, right? I sign Game Pass on NFL.com. So I'm watching all 22 film of the teams that I'm going to do to look at the tendencies. And at this stage of my career, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. Not exactly, but I have a very good idea of what kind of topics I want to talk about during the game. So I'm probably not going to do a feature on a right guard.
Right? Sure.
Or
unless it was me, I mean, then you'd have to do it. But
of course, I mean, if it was you, that'd be a different. Especially with the Star Wars shirt, I'm a Star Wars fan. The gun.
Hey, we're rocking it, man. Got the guns.
Yes. I mean, obviously you have it going on, but we know how to channel. I mean, if I'm doing the Falcons, I'm going to study Matt Ryan.
Sure.
I'm going to study Julio Jones. I'm going to maybe find something on Calvin Ridley. I'm going to see some tendencies here in the last few games. I'm going to see what defensive player kind of got my attention the week before or 2 weeks before. And then we just go on from there. And the most important thing, Sean, is following what's happening in front of you.
Sure.
Don't try to reinvent the wheel with all this external information, right? Concentrate on the play, on seeing the play, and on commentating the play. If you have time, then talk about Calvin Ridley and how Alabama he played with whatever, and how Alabama's wide receiver university there with also Julio Jones. You put that info also. But the most important thing for me is watching the game.
That's such a good point. You kind of hurt my soul a little bit talking about the Falcons because I'm a Bucs fan. So, but we'll get to that, man. But no, you make such a good point because it would almost seem like, especially if you're just starting out now, you've been doing it for a while, but that you would want, you get overloaded with so much info.
Oh yeah, I used to do that.
And then you're like, shit, what am I going to, talk about now? But then you got guys, it looks to me, and again, you played football as well, that the best commentators are guys that have played the game and they know the game, so they can recognize formations. They recognize what teams are doing. Like Tony Romo, obviously, he's amazing.
Right.
Troy Aikman's fantastic as well. So these guys, Booger McFarland, I know he's not going to be doing Monday Night Football anymore, but he was still interesting because, again, he played in the league. So I think the fact that you've played really kind of plays into that as well, definitely.
I think so. But I think just like watching the game, learning the game, studying the game, very, very important.
Sure.
Just like seeing if a defense is in zone, if a defense is in man-to-man, obviously the route concepts are going to be different. They're going to help you obviously before the play kind of feel like what the commentary is going to be. You kind of get a feeling for what's going to happen, like formation wise, like you said, and everything. For me, having been an athlete, I mean, this,
mm-hmm.
you know that a movement to your left, if you're a left tackle, if you're a tackle, is going to be a lot different than if you're on the left side to the right side.
Sure.
I mean, it's just like your brain. Your brain. I mean, if you're right-handed, you're going to have natural movements to one side and maybe not the same movements to the other side.
Sure.
Right? From being an athlete. So there's a lot of things that I think I use from having played football, from having played basketball, soccer, or whatever, that are very important to see the game and kind of get a feeling for what the player went through on that play physically and what he saw. And I'm sure you probably get a feeling for that too.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. You bring up some really good points on that. That's really cool. And I don't think people realize that. Sometimes people think that you just turn it on and you guys start talking, but the backstory to that really is interesting. So that's great to hear. The growth of the American football game here has been steady, but we're kind of still playing at a high school level here in Brazil overall. And I think we need to invest more in developing relationships with schools and with universities to kind of form a path to colleges and not worry as much about the pro game until we reach that capacity. What's your opinion on that down here?
Well, the thing is, I agree. I think we're taking baby steps, but we've taken large steps since 2006 when I started commentating the NFL. I remember the first game was like a flag. They'd play flag football in São Paulo. They'd play tackle football on the beach in Rio, no equipment. And then finally we had our first game with full equipment, which was Brazil against Uruguay. And the level was very basic back then.
Sure.
Now we have leagues, right? We have leagues, but we have a Série B, right? We got the main league. I mean, all this in 14 years. Now we have a player, Durval Queiroz Neto, Duzão, who's with the Dolphins and who has a legitimate shot, in my view, to become a good guard in the NFL. His movement skills, his strength, I mean, they're extremely impressive. I know he went through the NFL undiscovered, but these are steps, right?
Sure.
It would be great if there was some kind of exchange program with high schools. And you know this, Sean. I mean, you played in high school. High school coaches, man, they're looking for athletes from everywhere.
Yeah,
they don't care. Like you said in the beginning of the show, I wish the world could be a big locker room. They don't care if they come from Brazil, Angola, New Zealand. So they're looking for players, and there's a lot of talent here in Brazil. So if we can somehow make that connection, Sean, I think we'd have a lot more players in college and maybe even the NFL.
No, I completely agree. I think these universities a lot of times have a pathway program, for different kind of things. It might be for music or other things. Now they don't have it yet for football, but I think that's something that we need to address because look, less than 2% of the players that play Division I ball, which I played. There's thousands of Division I athletes, and less than 2% of that actually get drafted and play. So the chances of somebody from down here playing in the league are very remote. But if you're able to, like you said, bring them in and let them learn the American game, how we practice, how we play, the playbooks, the different strategies and stuff. Because, Duzal, he's doing a great job, and he's definitely, going against it because, number one, the playbook to go from here to there is like,
Of course.
it's like this. It's not even just about the playbook. It's just the overall of the game are completely different. The competition level is completely different. But man, if we can start doing that on that level, and then we won't have we'll have a pathway for people to learn it. I think it will help out a lot because that kind of segues into my next point is, the WFLA, the professional women's football is exploding. In the U.S. next year, they kick off in 2021 in May. They already have over 20 athletes, from Brazil that are going to be playing this league. And before we get to talking about ESPN, but look at this. Here's a professional league that's going to be paying their players, and there's a lot of athletes coming over from Brazil. Don't you think, in turn, that's going to help to grow the women's game down here, like exponentially? I think.
Well, that's a good point. I see when the girls here see that they're going to have an opportunity to live in the United States and play ball in the United States, maybe have a life there in the U.S., which is something that a lot of Brazilians want.
Right.
I think, yes, that is a phenomenal opportunity. I don't know if we're going to show the games on ESPN. I don't know about the television rights or anything like that. But just the fact that through word of mouth, that gets around, I think there's going to be a natural growth to the sport amongst the women here in Brazil, and something that will help the men grow. I think it's like you, for instance,
right?
Like you're coaching here. You have the American culture. You grew up in the U.S. You tried out for the Bucks. You played at a high level, and now you're here. You're helping guys develop their skills. I think if we have more of that, then I think we can develop better skilled players here in Brazil. And that's something that's been kind of happening, right? With you and Johnny Mitchell. I remember Johnny Mitchell played for the Jets, first round pick. I think it was back in 1996. He was the first round pick, maybe even before that, 94 or something. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, he really helped out here in Brazil. So these are things that help the sport develop.
Yeah, I really agree with that, and I think but going back to the television for a minute, ESPN or somebody has to pick these games up, because look, ESPN as an example, and I know you can't go into much detail, but you guys got like 900 channels as it is, between ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN that. Somebody's got to pick this up because there's only so much soccer, especially in May and in May and June and stuff when they're going to be in full season. And I think it's really going to help if they're able to watch these games on TV and then get to know these athletes. Then you can kind of say, hey, I know that lady. That's Paula Chiahochi. I know her. She's from Brasilia, that type of deal.
Right.
And that'll really kind of help, then they'll start getting the jerseys, and then they're going to be like, man, I want to be like her when I grow up, so on and so forth. And that all kind of plays into it. So I really hope that, if it's not ESPN, somebody, picks that up because I think that'll really help with the growth of the game, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, money talks, man. So,
sure.
Listen, if we're gonna take our cameras to a game, and we're going to do the game, we're going to have tons of cameras there. It's going to be a humongous cost for ESPN. So does the game have enough viewership where we can have advertisers pay for a cost and profit off that? Probably not. Probably not here in Brazil, So there's a lot of stuff. Listen, is ESPN gonna transmit the games in the U.S.?
That's what I was guessing. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. If they do that, then it's almost as simple as picking up the feed, right?
Basically. Basically. I don't know if it would involve too many TV rights because it's something that obviously the women's football is not like the NFL, right? Where there's a different type of cost to the game, right? So then I think it would be possible. And with so many Brazilians playing, I would think that it would be interesting, right? But we know how things work here in Brazil, right?
Sure.
Soccer is king.
Of course.
Here in Brazil, we like American football. We like basketball. We like football. We like a little baseball. I mean, those are the sports that I like to watch.
Right.
I like to watch.
Right.
But the population here, the Brazilians, they like the soccer, man. But the football is growing, and so is basketball.
Yeah, it's interesting too. And one more question about this, because I know right now the NFL is the third largest TV market in the world. We have the USA, we got Mexico, we got Brazil, but a greater percentage of women are watching American football than men. I don't know if I'm sure you know that, but so that's why I say I think American football for women is going to be a little bit different than the USFL or the World League or the XFL, because obviously, number one, it is women. Secondly, the quality of play is actually pretty damn good. I've watched a lot of different highlights. I've interviewed a lot of girls on here lately that are going to play in that league. So I think it's going to be one of those things, kind of like when the U.S. Women's World Cup kind of just exploded. Even though that's only every 4 years, I think it could be something that's really going to catch fire. I really believe that the WFLA is going to do something special, and I think they're really going to have to take a hard look at it, in my opinion.
Yeah, let's hope that happens, man. Because I remember with the soccer deal. Because I mean, you know how it is. I mean, when you grow up, the first sport you play in the U.S., at least it was back in the '80s, man. It's everybody who played football and basketball and baseball. Their first sport was soccer.
I was a goalie, man.
Yeah, exactly. You played. Everybody played soccer, right? So, I mean, the women, they keep playing soccer.
Yeah.
Right? They keep playing soccer. And they really developed the sport in the U.S., on the women's side. So, yeah, man. I mean, let's see if it happens with football, too.
Yeah, let's see. Let's go back to your broadcasting career now. Now, we've all had some moments, especially when doing live events, where something just goes completely wrong. At the time it happens, it's pure hell, but then you kind of look back at it and you get a good laugh. Do you have any stories that you'd like to share that have happened to you while doing some of your events?
Well, I forgot my passport. I forgot that my passport was expired the day before I was supposed to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my.
That was really fun. Yeah, that was great. And then Sunday I go to the federal police right in Lapa. I take my dog. Everything's closed. There's nothing. What are you gonna? You're not gonna get on the plane today. Forget it. I'm like, oh man, I need an emergency passport. Right. And then I went to Santos. Oh
my God.
I was lucky because my uncle was mayor, right? So he helped me out to be able to get an emergency passport really quickly. And so I went to Santos the day that I was going to go to I think New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was New Orleans.
Right.
And then I got my passport, and then I went directly to the airport and did my thing. But I was nervous as hell. And speaking of New Orleans, man, we're just doing the game. Super Bowl's happening, Ravens and 49ers. All of a sudden, the lights go off.
Oh, I remember that game. Yeah, that was Colin Kaepernick's Super Bowl. Yeah.
The lights go off. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I'm like, okay. But if Aldo, he's doing the play-by-play, he got nervous, man. He's like, the lights have gone out. The lights have gone out here, and we don't know what's going to happen. And the lights have gone out in our booth. And what do we do? And it was funny. I was just chilling. I'm like, oh, this is a welcome break.
Yeah, well, the Ravens liked it. I don't know how much the 49ers ended up liking it, but
they loved it.
Oh my God.
That was a good Super Bowl.
No, it was amazing. That was a great game. Who are some of your favorite athletes to interview in any sport that you've done?
God, that's a good question, man. I remember my first day, if I'm not mistaken, I think it really was, that I was able to interview some big-time players. Well, I had some interviews in college with a couple Celtic players like Paul Pierce and some guys. But as a pro on ESPN, I remember 2008, Lakers and Cavaliers in LA. I got a chance to talk to Magic Johnson. I saw him in the hallway. I'm like, Magic, give me a couple minutes. And he did. He was very gracious.
Wow.
And then after the game, and After the game, Anderson Varejão played for Cleveland, Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
He got hurt. He got hurt that game. So I did an exclusive with him the day that he got hurt. Obviously, we don't want him to get hurt, but it is news. Right? It is news. So after I interviewed him, LeBron James comes out, and it's me and all newspaper people. So nobody's got a camera except for me. So I'm dominating the interview. I'm dominating the interview. So that ends, and I'm like, well, it's too late to get a Lakers player. It's too late. It's too late because I've been here for an hour and a half post game. Nobody's going to be in that locker room. So I go there, and who's there? Kobe Bryant is there.
Oh, heck no.
Doing a special with ABC. There's Kobe, and there's another like Laker, I don't know, some employee. I'm like, holy Jesus. Will he talk to me? Probably not. But let me try. Kobe, ESPN Brazil, do you have a few minutes? Yeah, sure. So I'm in the middle of the Lakers locker room doing an exclusive with Kobe.
Wow.
And he was so nice.
Feedback.
So nice after a loss.
Wow.
He was so nice. So there's some children crying, they're screaming and crying.
Yeah, we got some major feedback. You gotta, hey, Victor, I think you gotta mute your thing, man.
That is hilarious. But then this past training camp, George Kittle was a treat. Russell Wilson was a treat. Man, I don't know. There's been so many. The thing that I love to do the most is interview. That's it. That's what
me too. You know, it brought me up a quick story. I was actually, when Brazil, the women's team was in Orlando, they were actually training where I used to play my home games in the Florida Citrus Bowl. That's where UCF used to play. Yeah. And I was there. I had talked to, I guess you would call her agent or a handler for Marta. And she was on the side. Now, we got Fox Sports, we got ESPN, CNN, all these bigwigs got these giant-ass cameras. And then here's my guy, and I got this little rinky-dink Canon camera, right? So I'm talking to her handler, and I show her my tattoo. I don't know if you've seen it. I got the Brazil American tattoo here. And she's like, hey, você fala português? I said, yeah, hell, come on, let's go. And, my Portuguese is about 85, 90%. So anyway, they get done training, and Marta comes over, and you got all these guys behind me. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm not going to get 5 minutes with her. She goes, hey, I want to talk to the Brazil guy. I was like, what? I was like, okay. Nice. So we went over and sat in a corner at the stadium for like 20 minutes, man. She was cool as hell. And we did the whole interview in Portuguese. She got up, put the towel in her head. She says, I'm out. And she didn't even talk to him. I was like, yeah, what's up?
That is so. You know who I talked to? You know who I talked to in California? Amanda Nunes, Leoa. Yeah, I talked to her, man, exclusive at ESPN Studios there in Los Angeles. And also the same day, I talked to John Jones.
Oh, my God.
Great guy, John
UFC.
Jones.
Yeah.
UFC, man. Oh. And he gave me a compliment after. He's like, keep up the good energy. Because I'm like, I know you've been beating up on Brazilians. I'm Brazilian. Don't beat up on me. And and we were sitting on a couch. We were sitting on a couch, and he got one of the pillows, and he threw it at me. He's like, you're a neck. It was really, really fun. And lastly, before we move on here, Eric Dickerson at his house in Calabasas.
Oh, come on, man.
Yes.
Oh,
Eric Dickerson at his house in Calabasas, in his freaking, I don't know, it was in his studio, his den with all these helmets,
the memorabilia and stuff,
all
right?
Memorabilia, and he had his glasses and his bust right behind us. He gave me an hour. It was great.
Oh my God! The only person like that, and I know we're gonna move on, but it just reminds me. I had O.J. Simpson actually came to my house because my dad had something going on. They were raising money. They had a thing for UCF to where it was called an auction, and they were auctioning off. They actually had the first Gatorade jug that was used in Super Bowl 25. That was the actual first Gatorade splash ever. The New York Giants when they beat the Buffalo Bills. So they were auctioning that off. They were auctioning a dinner with O.J. Simpson. This is before, the whole Nicole Simpson deal. And then here comes O.J. Simpson just walking into my house. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, dude, you're the luggage guy, the luggage commercial guy. You're the Hertz guy. He's like, yeah, what's going on? And he shook my hand, and I kid you not, man. I got big hands. This guy's hands were like this, right? And then he pulls out of he goes into his wallet, man. He's like, here, I want you to see something. He's got his freaking rookie player card in his wallet, and he signed it and gave it to me. He's like, here you go. I'm like,
Really?
what? Yeah, and it's just, again, it's funny because you've been in this business a long time, and some of the guys you interview are beyond cool. And then there's other guys where you're just like, man, what is wrong with some of these people? Because they come from a different world. But I would say probably 85% of the guys, if you get them away from their handlers and their people, they're just normal people, man.
Yeah.
And they're really, really cool to sit down with. And, man, some of the stories are amazing. You could talk about.
We got a chance to go on live with Jerry Rice one time for 20 minutes.
Oh.
For 20 minutes, man. And we were in Radio Row during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Jerry was there. He went on live on ESPN Brazil for 20 minutes. I got an exclusive also for like 5 minutes or so with Barry Sanders, which was really awesome. I remember I got a chance to interview Adrian Peterson, really good guy. I've never really had any negative experiences with players.
Right.
I think they're fun. They're chill. I remember one time I asked James Harrison a question. I thought, let me just ask one. It's probably better I don't do a follow-up question.
Right.
And I remember Antrell Roll, the New York Giants.
Yeah.
When the Giants played the Patriots, 2011, it was in 2012, the Super Bowl, right, from the 2011 season. He was a little rude. I remember I asked him about Rob Gronkowski, and he didn't want to talk about Gronkowski. I don't want to talk about – I'm sick of talking about Gronkowski. But nothing, not any really big deal. You know what I'm saying? Nothing.
Right. No, I think, like I said, I think once you get them in their own environment, they're amazing. It's just kind of getting to that point. It's unreal. Like we had Michael Grudadori on. He was the center for the Rams. He actually played with me at UCF, and the guy was amazing. It was just that you get them in their environment, and they just want to talk. They just want to tell their stories. They have amazing stories, and it's like you can go on and go on and go on. It's like, oh my God. So I can imagine like Jerry Rice, Barry Sanders. Oh my God. I mean, that would be so cool.
Yeah, so cool. It was fun. It was a good
training camps open this week, and it's under the cloud, obviously, of COVID-19, which has caused the NFL to eliminate preseason. And I think this is really going to hurt the preparation for the teams, especially the undrafted rookies and such. How do you think this is going to play out this year in the NFL?
Yeah, teams are forced to cut players without even seeing them. I mean, that's what's happening right now. So you get these undrafted players, man. I mean, listen, you're going to have to cut a lot of these undrafted players that you thought maybe had a chance, right? So that's a big disadvantage for these teams, right? You want to get your hands on these guys. I mean, hell, I can't wait till Tua Tagovailoa gets on the damn field because I've been looking for a quarterback for the last 25 damn years in Miami, and Tua coming off that injury, get on the damn field, man. I want to see if this guy's my next quarterback. You know?
I'm worried about him, man. I mean, I hope he does well, but that injury, man, I saw what it did to Bo Jackson,
Yeah, but different thing. That's different. The medicine also was completely different. And Barry also was Bo was a running back. It was a completely different deal, right?
Yeah.
So, and they said that one injury was different than the other, and they did the surgery fast. So there's blood flow to the hip. They're saying he's 100%. So I expect them to be 100%. I expect them to be a franchise quarterback. And I was hoping maybe he could throw some balls to Victor. Victor's got the Celtics uniform on, so I'm already a fan of Victor. I saw him running some routes on his Instagram account. Victor, why don't you go play for the Dolphins as an undrafted free agent?
Yeah, that's my dream. My dream.
Yeah, Victor.
Absolutely.
We
You,
had Victor on
you
the
can
other
hear me?
day. Yeah, we just have a little bit of a delay. Go ahead, Victor. Sorry.
Okay. No. You can just tell him.
No, I was just saying that we had Victor on the other day when we had Balin Trujillo, who was a quarterback for the Orlando Predators, and he mentioned towards the end of the show, he's like, "Hey, Victor, just let me know what's up. We could try and maybe get you a tryout at the Predators." And Victor was sitting next to me, man. His eyes just went like this, man. So, I mean, he definitely has the skill level to play in the professional ranks right now. He's got a big body. He's 6'4", has decent speed, good hands. He'd definitely be a possession type of receiver, and we're definitely going to be working towards getting him a shot somewhere to play next year for sure.
Yeah, he gets off the line okay too. That's the most important thing I look at, man. How does the receiver get off the line? Because if you can't get off the like you look at these college guys, if you can't, I mean, sometimes these guys are extremely productive, and people are like, "Oh man, he's so productive in college." Yeah, but the NFL is completely different. Can the guy get off the line against press coverage? That is the first question I'm going to ask. What kind of route running? I mean, his route running, right? And then can he catch the ball? And then what's his size?
Exactly.
But the first thing is, man, you got to get off that line.
Yeah, and that's something we were actually talking about the other day as well. And he uses his hands really well. I think he. Yeah. Again,
you say something. You say something, Paulo.
Manda bala.
No, I just want to say something. You say something about get off the line. I think the most important lesson than I learned on American when I was on showcase for XFL last year, and I was talking with some coach, and he said, "Bro, just be who you are. You're a possession guy. You're 6'4", and you quicken it on the line. Just get off the line, and I just ask for him, what's the difference for the receivers? For example, the start guards and the guy for the second string, and just ask me, just say, release. If you can play against press coverage, you can run some routes on first string.
That's it, man. You got to get off press coverage because these cornerbacks, they're going to press you in the NFL. They're strong and they're big, and if you can't get off the line, then you're going to have trouble. So yeah. So one guy I like. This is why I like a little bit Jalen Reagor of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Who a lot of people had going in the second or third round. I like this kid. Not only is he dynamic, going deep, and he's got good speed. And he goes over the middle, too. He does not scare to go over the middle. He's really good after the catches the ball. He's had some drops, right? But I think it's kind of concentration issues because I see him catching the ball really well at times. But I like how he gets off the line. I like his temperament. Temperament is something that's very, very big to me. That's something that Justin Jefferson, who got drafted by the Vikings, has to show me a little more in terms of temperament. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you get a feeling for this type of thing. It's hard. It's hard, right? I mean, when you're scouting a player, I mean, there's no perfect science, right? He could turn into a great player, good route runner, very productive at LSU. But you get a guy like Jarvis Landry, who's a second-round pick. I saw this kid at LSU. I'm like, this guy's got the temperament to play in the NFL. He came out as a rookie, and I mean, he just owned the thing, and he's a great player. And he was so good that the Dolphins had to get rid of him because the Dolphins are like, he's too good for us. I mean, we don't want great players on this team because we suck year after year after year. So, Jarvis, go play somewhere else. And they decided to trade Jarvis Landry. I'm still really annoyed about that. Sorry about that. Sorry to bring that up. Yeah,
imagine if they had him now, man. With
Tua.
Oh
yeah. Jesus. Oh, I imagine it. They really don't imagine it. I mean, Adam Gase was there. Adam Gase is great for getting rid of all his good players, right? Now he's going to get rid of what's his Jamal Adams out
Jamal
there in
Adams.
New York.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell. He goes. He I don't know, man. He goes to places to like wreck things. It's like one of those like just horror movies where that devil comes to the town. I don't remember the name of the movie. The devil goes into the town and he like ruins the town, and then he goes to another town and he ruins that. And he never dies. He goes on forever and ever. I forgot the name of the damn movie.
He goes and cleans house, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But no, I agree with you. I think, they're going to be something to watch in the future, especially if Tua stays healthy, again. I think he's going to be – I think Dolphins are going to be in good shape. Their defense is going to be much better. I mean, your head coach is already a defensive coach as it is.
I like him.
I like him a lot. And I think they're going to do extremely well. I think they could probably go 8-8 this year.
Listen, they won 5 games last year with the worst roster of all time.
Yeah.
They won 5 of their last 9 games. Listen, any team can win 10 games on any given year. The Dolphins won 11 games after going 1-15 in 2007. They won 11 games the following year. I mean, Adam Gase in his first year in Miami, I got to give him credit for this one. He went 10-6, right? I mean, he got there, went 10. Everybody's like 8-8 max. Everybody can go 10-6. If you got some decent, like Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's had 30 touchdown seasons. They have some pretty good receivers. Yeah. I mean, Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch there at cornerback. And defensively with Brian Flores, they're going to be a lot better. So if they go 10-6 and win the division, I will not be absolutely shocked. I will not. I've seen it before.
It's interesting because, speaking of the division now is wide open because your man Brady came to my team. Now the Bucks. Now, a lot of people call me a homer, but let's talk a couple facts real quick with the Bucks because I don't think people realize they lost 7 games by 1 possession last year. They have the number 1 sack leader. They have the number 1 run defense, 2 of the best linebackers in the game, and that's just talking defensively. And then you get into the offense now. This is the most weapons that Tom Brady has ever had.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's made believers out of, with Wes Welker and Danny Amendola. And, his last 2 titles, he had Gronkowski. But now you got O.J. Howard. You got 2 of the top receivers in the game with Evans and Godwin. Come on, man. I mean, and everybody's saying, oh, is he going to stay healthy? The guy's been out 1 season. So don't give me – I know he's a little bit older. But even if he does, just by cutting the interceptions down and the turnovers because Winston's gone, that right there should put them in the playoffs. So, I'm being a homer, but I really see the Bucks making a serious run this year. What do you think about that?
I like the Bucks. I mean, listen, when I think about Godwin and Evans, it's the best 1-2 punch in the NFL, in my opinion, the wide receiver position. I think Gronk comes back as good as ever at 31 years old after sitting out last year. Okay. I'm not sure about O.J. Howard. I think that he might even be traded, but I'm intrigued if they can come up with some 2 tight end sets.
Well, they got Brate right behind him as well.
And exactly. Cameron Brate is a nice piece. So, I mean, I'm worried about the right side of the line. Okay.
Yeah.
That I'm worried about that. But Marpet and Jensen are pretty damn solid there in the interior of that line. And, you got to protect the pocket.
Sure.
Okay, so that's something that I think the Bucks have going on for them. And then you look at them defensively, dude. If you got Todd Bowles, you're going to get better, right?
Yeah.
So they got Todd Bowles. Their secondary got better second half of the season. They were the number 1 against the run last year. I mean, that Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh are still there. And like you said, man, Shaq Barrett and Pierre Paul, if they stay healthy, listen. And also Devin White. Man, the dude is very nice, and so is David.
Yeah,
right,
Levante David.
Yeah. So I mean, if those corners hold up, those young corners, and Winfield, I mean, that dude's a playmaker. I mean, if you put it on paper, listen, the Tampa can do really well. Now, Tom Brady's going to be 43. I mean, we're counting on Tom Brady to be the Tom Brady of old. Will that happen? I don't know. I think it will. But you never know. I mean, so there's a lot of stuff that happens during the season.
Yeah, no, I agree. Obviously, it all hinges on Brady, but I don't think he's going to have to be the playmaker. I think he's going to get away with, just again, if you avoid the turnovers, you just take that out of the game, and you get somebody that can do the mid-range pass game, that can control the field. Because look, even if Gronkowski is not 100%, he's going to command double teams, especially when you get into the red zone, no doubt. And
Yeah.
then you got so many weapons. It's like, okay, who are we going to cover? Are we going to
Right.
slide the safety over and go over the top with Evans? What are we going to do with Godwin and slot? I mean, it's just there's a lot of problems there. And again, with Brady, they know that he can distribute the ball. And let's not forget Ronald Jones in the backfield. I mean,
can't catch the ball. Good runner, can't catch the ball.
That's exactly it. That's the only thing against him. But
they got the kid from Vanderbilt. What's his name? I forgot his name.
Oh my God, yeah, I can't remember. He's super fast too, and he was like a out of the box pick. I can't remember his name.
I think they're gonna kill some people on screens, man. I mean, with those receivers out there running those routes and getting the attention of the safeties and the linebackers, they could be killing some people on some screens, which Brady loves too. Listen, Bruce Arians, he's a quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
Okay. Everywhere he goes, quarterbacks get better. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm intrigued.
What do you see? Let's talk about the NFC and the AFC. Pick a couple of teams for both sides. So what are you looking at right now? Now, again, I know it's early, but considering we're not going to have any injuries in this whatever preseason that we're going to have, who do you like in the NFC and who do you like in the AFC for this year?
I got my eye on Buffalo, man. I'm very intrigued to see what Josh Allen does. I love their defense and their coach. I love them.
Yeah.
Okay. Offensively, I think they're a little small at wide receiver, and Stephon Diggs worries me because he gets pissed off at his quarterbacks. He's a bit of a diva. And when you got a young quarterback, man, if there's friction there, that could be a problem. But I really like Buffalo. I like the Steelers too, with Big Ben coming back.
Really?
I do like the Steelers.
Wow.
If Big Ben comes back and plays well, they're going to score. Did you see their defense last year, how better it got when Minka Fitzpatrick got there?
Yeah.
I mean, it was so – and T.J. Watt is a legitimate defensive player of the year candidate. So I think this is like the best Steeler defense I've seen in a while. You got Bud Dupree. They have their defensive line is really good. So they intrigue me tons. I think they're a 10, 11 win team. And also the Ravens and the Chiefs, we all know they're going to be there.
Sure.
Who else? I'm obviously forgetting someone, but let's go to the NFC here. NFC, I mean, the Saints with Drew Brees. I think Tampa's going to get better with Tom Brady. I think they're a 10 win team, maybe even 11 wins. Let's go to other divisions here. I'm worried about Green Bay. Green Bay worries me because they could have gone 8-8 last year. They won a bunch of close games that maybe they could have lost.
What do you think about Dallas? You know, Dak Prescott, obviously with his whole contract issue, but you can't ignore,
I'm worried about them.
Yeah, me too.
They don't get over the hump. I mean, I'm sick of talking about how good their roster is and they just don't win.
Yeah.
So I mean, Dak Prescott did not play well against Philadelphia. Amari Cooper was on the bench, in important moments. Like, where the hell is his head? I mean, they don't run the ball enough. Now they got Mike McCarthy, who doesn't like to run the ball. It's just, I don't know about that. Everybody's very optimistic about. I think they had a good draft, but I mean, listen. I got to wait and see on the Cowboys, man. I really do. And I'm intrigued with the Eagles, man. I'm intrigued with Philadelphia.
You think that Wentz is going to play, or are they going to put Hurts in? Because Wentz.
No. Hurts is not ready at all.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, no. Wentz is their guy, but Deshaun Jackson, man. If he just doesn't say stupid crap off the field, Jesus,
if he just says motivated to play. I mean, he's another one. If you don't feed him the ball, man, he's just going to be brutal.
But healthy, he's done well the last couple years.
Yeah, healthy.
He still got speed, man.
Oh,
he needs to stay healthy.
For
him and Rieger will be interesting there in Philly, I think.
One more pick for both sides. What are two teams that didn't make it last year that you think are going to surprise somebody this year, besides Tampa?
Oh, Jesus. Let me think here. Well, San Francisco obviously wouldn't be a surprise. I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl. Seattle with Russell Wilson, I think, is always going to be solid. They always have a chance. I'm trying to go division by division here. I know I'm missing out on someone. The South, the Saints, the East.
How about Carolina?
No. I'm not. Teddy Bridgewater, he's good, but I mean, Cam Newton is so much better, so much more dynamic. I love McCaffrey, man. I think he's fantastic. I think they had a nice draft too. Derek Brown is a beast, but I don't see Carolina winning more than 7 games this year. I'm obviously missing someone because I got to think about all the teams here, but I'm very anxious to see the 49ers. I think they're going to have a great chance this year. I think they're going to be even better. I think Garoppolo will be better. I think Kittle will be better. I think defensively they're going to be just as good, if not better. So I got my eye on the 49ers.
I think they need to mentally, because if Shanahan drops the ball again, man, from a mental perspective, after doing that with the Falcons and then doing in the last Super Bowl, man, he's really – that's not going to be good. The guy's got plenty of weapons. John Lynch is doing a hell of a job out there. So
he is.
But how about in the AFC? Does anybody kind of catch you off guard? And, Steelers for me were kind of a surprise pick in itself, but it makes a lot of sense, like you said, with their defense. But and then the Bills, of course, like you said, I think they're going to do something. I think pretty much, the rest of that division, there's not going to be anybody else to talk about. I don't think Joe Burrow is going to do anything in Cincinnati this year.
Nope, I don't. No. Cleveland, I'm not too excited anymore about Baker Mayfield, man.
Nah, he's really just gone downhill. And I to be honest with you, it's the coaching. I think they're not using him correctly. I think he's in the wrong style of offense. And I think he's just getting jittery, man. He's getting happy feet in the pocket. You can see it. And he's not the same. He's just I think he's going to feel the pressure. I think Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be all over his ass this year. So
yeah, he needs to grow the hell up too and shut the hell up. Yeah. I mean, these guys like Johnny Manziel and Baker, I mean, they just shut up. You know what I'm saying? You just got in the league. Shut up. Work hard. Stop being so damn cocky. You haven't done anything yet. They want to be leaders, but they're being bad leaders. They don't know what to do. So I'm intrigued to see if Baker kind of changes his I don't know, his mind, his way of doing things.
How about the Rams? Going back to the NFC for a second. What do you think? Actually, I got 2 teams I just thought of. How about the Rams and how about the Colts? Because the Rams are an interesting story. They still have the weapons there, and then the Colts now getting Phillip Rivers. Man, that really puts a boost in them as well.
The good thing about Phillip Rivers is he had a really bad season last year. So when he has a bad season, the following year is usually a good one. So I'm definitely excited to see Rivers work with Frank Reich and T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
And that offensive line. That offensive line is beast mode.
And the guard.
Nelson.
Yeah, oh my God, Quentin Nelson is a beast.
Oh, he's a dream. That guy is just a dream. He is just fantastic. So I really like Indy. I like their defense too, man. I like their defense, and you can't really say that about Indy for the last 30 years, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
But their defense is really, really. I think it's really good, and I think if they wouldn't have had some injuries last year, I think they probably would have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you, I mean, they would have had a great chance of making the playoffs. I don't like Ryan Tannehill. I'm not sold on the Titans. But I like their coach, man.
I love their coach. I would love to play for a guy like that. Oh my God.
Yeah, that guy is a good coach. So you mentioned the Rams. Sean McVay really disappointed me last year. Yeah. I mean, he was terrible in the Super Bowl, and he was bad last year. I mean, the way he used Gurley, I thought it was just bad. Yeah. And they had a lot of injuries on the offensive line. So I mean, and they lost a lot of pieces on defense. I don't know what to expect from the Rams. I think they'll be competitive. They're going to be a good team, but to say they're going to win the division, I think that might be going too far right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, just a couple more questions, man. I know we kept you a long time, but you also cover a lot of college football. And the school I played for, UCF, Joe Burnett, who was going to be on here tonight. We're going to have him on next week. But, they got shut out of the college football playoff for 2 years running when they clearly should have been in. I mean, they went undefeated twice. And then they ended up winning, beating Auburn after they beat Alabama, the whole 9 yards there. So, in my opinion, they should expand the playoff to 8 teams, have 6 conference champions and the 2 at-large bids. Take off your ESPN hat for a minute because, I know ESPN, that's their baby, but what do you think that the college football should do?
God, that's such a good question, man. And I mean, you remember back in the day, I mean, the voters, the AP voters decided who was the number 1 team, and that was it.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, oh my God, it was terrible. And then they went to 4 teams now. Now they got a panel of 13 people deciding who the 4 finalists are. And I think they generally do get it right. But there's obviously people that say, no, should have been this team, should have been that team. But when you look at college football, man, there's so many conferences, right?
Right.
And there's such a big difference between like the SEC and the Mountain West or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so if you go 14-0 in one of these weaker conferences and Alabama goes 12-2, I mean, Alabama's the better team, even though the other team went 14-0 or whatever. So it does present a challenge. I do agree that there needs to be more teams.
Right.
In the playoffs. How about maybe, I don't know, 6 teams where 2 get a bye, right? Like kind of like it is in the NFL, or maybe 7 teams now the NFL is going to do it.
Right.
Where 1 team gets a bye and the other 6 play. I would like to see more teams because, like you said, man, I remember. I think Utah also had some problems with that.
Yeah.
A few years back.
Yeah, Utah, Boise State.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's.
I mean, there's weak competition though in their conferences, right?
Yeah.
So it's just it's tough to pick, but I do agree that if you go undefeated, I don't care what conference you're in. If you go undefeated, you should have a chance to win the title.
Yeah, I completely agree. Especially, you got it's like they do in basketball, man. You take the top 64 teams and they just go at it, and there's always going to be that Cinderella. There's always going to be that one time. It may be 9 times out of 10 they're going to lose, but that one time, we want to see somebody go against Alabama's $150 million recruiting budget. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it would be huge for football. It'd be easily to schedule. You can add another week. You can take away some of these patsy games that all these teams play. And it would be easy to do. I really think so. So hopefully they move on there. But somebody's got like a killer dog in the background too, man. It's like the Terminator. Hey, all right. So we're gonna put you through the rapid fire real quick. It's
okay.
Favorite football movie.
Rudy.
Oh my God, I actually met him, if you can believe it.
Really?
Yeah, man, what a great guy! Holy cow, that's a long story, but maybe we'll talk about it off air.
That's the best movie ever, man. I cry every time I see it.
Favorite ride at Disney? Because I know you've been to Disney. Come on.
Oh man, it's been a while, but I'd have to go with Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, Thunder Mountain Railroad. There you go.
Yeah, that was a fun one, man. That was a fun one. Yeah.
Brady will win the Super Bowl in Tampa.
No, he will not.
No, in either year. Okay.
Oh.
Favorite MLB team?
The Boston Red Sox.
Okay. And favorite fast food in the USA?
Yeah, I think I have to go with Subway on that one, man.
Wow, that's okay. That's
yeah, because I'm not into the whole Chipotle thing. I haven't.
You don't like dog, huh?
No, yeah, I like Chipotle, but the thing is, I think I left the U.S. like too early because I left in 2002. Was it even? Did they have that in 2002? I think if they would have had that during my high school life out in Sarasota, I probably would have eaten there every day.
Yeah, they had. I think that was when they had like Chipotle. They probably had Tropic Grill going on. They had Miami Subs. That's kind of like when all that stuff started coming on. So
yes, Yes, Miami Subs. I remember I was a senior when Miami Subs, I think, got to Sarasota. We had Taco Bell and McDonald's and
Oh,
Burger
yeah.
King and Wendy's and Subway. That was basically it.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Well, listen, man. Hey, I really appreciate your time. I know Victor does as well. And, once the season gets kicked on, I don't know how your schedule is, but we'll definitely try and hook up with you again because we'd love to talk more about your, some of the projects that you're working on. And maybe by then you're going to have some things going, and we'd love to have you come on and talk some more, man.
Absolutely. I'm working like hell, man, the last couple of months on a wonderful project. It's a course that I think people that enjoy my career, that enjoy football, that want to learn more about football, I think they're going to really enjoy it. And there's the editing is going to be something completely different. So I want to mix some movie making here with my knowledge of football and do a course where people that want to learn the game, like I said, like enjoy the game, that they can really, really cherish. So I don't have a date set yet for when this is gonna, be on the market, but I promise it's gonna be good stuff. So,
let me ask you real quick about that. Now, is that going to be in Portuguese or in English or both, or what are you going to do there?
That's going to be in Portuguese. But
Okay.
You know what, man? I have two studio days. Okay, so I'm going to keep that second studio day in my back pocket, and it might come out in English also.
Hey,
okay?
man. Well, if you need a translator, that's what I do for a living. So hook it up, man.
Listen, I'm glad to know.
Subtitles.
Do you do subtitles?
Yeah.
Wonderful. I need a subtitle guy. I need a subtitle guy for my YouTube.
Yeah, I work for a company here, and I do Portuguese and English about 150,000 words a month, man. So
wow.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
But that sounds awesome, man. I think it would be fantastic, and we're looking forward to seeing that because I know that you're a student in the game as well, and your knowledge. Jesus, I mean, we've already been on here an hour or so. I could talk football with you all day long. So
it'd be a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm sorry that I couldn't come on sooner, man, because I've had so many things going on.
Sure.
So I apologize, but it was a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Hey, and one more thing before you go. What was your porn star name again?
It was Augusto Mansour Bent Tree.
That is the best name ever, man. You got to get a tattoo of that or something, man.
I will. I will. Yes.
Go ahead, Victor.
Paulo, it was my pleasure. Just heard your stories. I'm a big fan about your person, about your job. So it was my pleasure. I had some issues with my connection right now, but it was my pleasure just hear you.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, and keep up the good work with your football skills, and bring people to the game here in Brazil. Because I'm sure a lot of people look up to you, and what you do is very important. Showcasing your skills is very important for people to kind of believe that it is possible to get a chance in some capacity also in the United States. So congratulations on everything you do, and thank you for the compliments.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks again, Paulo. Take care, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys really enjoyed the stash. It is leaving, okay, because I got to tape my course on Tuesday. But I think I might come back with it at a later date. Because Augusto Mansour Bent Tree, I mean, I got to bring life to that character.
Yeah, man. You got to rock that stash. That thing is unbelievable, man. Take care, bro.
All right. Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Oh, my God. That has got to be one of the single funniest moments that we've had on this show, man. The freaking bent tree. I mean, for a porn star name, man, you cannot have a better name than that. So it's so good, man. What an amazing guy. Paulo's one of those guys that you could just sit down at a bar and talk football, all day long. Like him, we've had Paulo Mancha on. Hopefully in a few weeks, we got Paulo Ivaglu coming on as well from ESPN. And, man, these guys are here in Brazil. And a lot of them know more football than I do. And, I've played for a long time, and these guys study the game to the nth degree, and they're just so passionate about what they do. But I didn't even get a chance to get into the MLB or to the NBA or anything else that he does. And, man, it's just such a pleasure to, talk to people that know the game, that are passionate about the game, and it's a lot of fun, right? Don't you think so, Victor?
Yeah, it was amazing. I would tell the same coach. Paulo already don't know about this, but when I was starting on my career in football, and I just need learn some covers, defense, just studying the game. So I like I said at the beginning, I really fan from Tony. So I just put it on his YouTube channel. Just watch some videos for studying the game and try adapt my playbook and what he say on his video. So it's really important, like he said, about studying the game and made the younger guys know how to play the game, how just the right way. I think it's important for try develop our sport here in Brazil.
Wow. Yeah. It's so amazing. So amazing. Well, like I said, Joe Burnett had some connection issues, so he's not going to be on with us tonight. We're going to reschedule him probably for next week. However, this Tuesday night, we have a huge show coming on with you as well. Besides having the Brent Tree porn star, that's going to be hard to top, but we have the WFLA commissioner coming on of the WFLA, Miss Lupe Rose, the CEO herself, is coming on, and she's going to have the entire show to herself, which is going to be an exciting time. We're going to talk all things about the Women's Professional American Football League Association, including what are they doing to get ready, what are their plans, what's been happening. Of course, we're going to talk some Ja Rule, who's the owner of the New York Stars, and it's just going to be an amazing time. She's an incredible woman. She has her She Beverage company as well, and there's going to be so many different topics to get in with it. So I'm really excited to finally nail this down and have a chance to spend a few moments with her. So that's really going to be an honor. That's Tuesday night. It's going to be 8 o'clock Brazil time, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Don't worry, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we'll be putting all the information out there for you as well. Make sure you subscribe to the Slack Smack YouTube page so you can come on with us live. You can ask some questions as well. And stay tuned for a great night. That's going to be an amazing night. She has one hell of a story. So we want to thank you for Victor and I. We want to thank you for coming on tonight and seeing Paulo Antunes. And like I said, next week we'll see you Tuesday night. This has been Sean Slack with Slack Smack. We'll see you then.